Imagine trying to plan a vacation without knowing, number one, when are you leaving? And number two, how long are you going to be gone? Talk about frustrating. Are you thinking about traveling this month or a year from now? Are we talking a no-frills weekend trip to a nearby city or an exotic 6-month tour around the world? Without a few important details, it's impossible to plan or budget. It's the same when you think about retirement. You can't make a plan, much less any progress, until you begin to wrestle with questions like, how long of retirement do you anticipate? How long before you retire? You know what? Let's talk about it coming up next. Hey, this is Mel Stubbs. I'm a financial planner here at Christy Capital Management. And here's a short exercise we do with our clients to help get them thinking about the next chapter of life. All you need is a pen and a piece of paper. First, let's talk about life expectancy. I know nobody's guaranteed anything. Accidents happen and diseases abound. I could drop dead right now while saying the sentence. And you might live until the ripe old age of 110. God only knows how long we've got. So in one sense, we're just speculating, making educated guesses. But to do this exercise, we need some figures to work with. Currently, the average life expectancy in the United States is about 77 years. 80 for women, 74.5 for men. So start with that number. Then consider your genetic makeup. If you've got grandparents or parents who've lived well into their 80s or 90s, you could probably add a few years onto that figure. On the other hand, if you've got some serious medical issues in your family tree or personal health conditions, take that into account. Now, don't overanalyze or agonize over this. Just simply put down a number. How long might you reasonably expect to live? I don't care what you put. If you want to live to 103, great. Write that down. If it helps ease your mind, do remember you're the only one seeing this. You don't have to share it with anybody. Now, underneath that number, write down the age at which you plan to retire. Is 65 your target? Perhaps earlier. Let's say 60. Maybe you want to work longer at age 70. There's no ideal or right number. Maybe you plan to be like some of our elected officials and work well into your 80s. Again, this is between you and your paper. No one else needs to know. Now that you've got those two numbers, let's do some math. Subtract your desired retirement age from the age you expect to live. The result is the number of years you'll have in retirement. Let's say you're fairly healthy. You think, I could see myself living to 85. And then since you like your job, maybe you desire to work to age 60. Great. 85 minus 60 means you'll have 25 years in that window of time that we call retirement. Now think of that. 2.5 decades of not working. All your bills paid. For 25 years, you'll have regular monthly income, but no heavy responsibilities. It's kind of like being a teenager, but with money. The catch is, how can you avoid running out of money? Or put another way, how will you come to manage the retirement income you'll be getting, plus whatever money that you saved and invested? Remember, it has to last 25 years or maybe more depending on the numbers you put down. Maybe you have a government pension. Maybe you'll be relying on Social Security benefits to cover your basic expenses. Ideally, you'll have some additional income from an annuity or a Roth IRA that you can use to pay for the other things. Whatever the source, your retirement assets have to last for a considerable length of time. And this means that you've got to think about issues like your withdrawal rate. How are you protecting and or investing your money over the long period of time? There are tax considerations. And of course, there's the ever-present reality of inflation. Consider the rising cost of a simple first-class postage stamp. In 1978, we paid just 15 cents to mail a letter. Today, it costs 58 cents. In 1978, you could buy a basic new Toyota Corolla for less than $2,000. In 2021, a stripped-down Corolla has a sticker price of almost $20,000. A gallon of gas for that new Toyota, it cost you 63 cents a gallon in 1978. Well, now in 2022, it's $4.59 a gallon here in South Carolina. This kind of inflation has affected the price of everything, and there's no reason or indication to suggest that inflation won't continue to take place during your retirement years. Fortunately, retirees with pensions have some inflation protection built into their pensions. Those cost of living adjustments are a godsend for people on a fixed income. But Social Security also has those cost of living increases. However, most people correctly note that any Social Security raise that you get is usually quickly eaten up by the rising cost of Medicare. So it's probably not wise to assume that any future Social Security increases will fully offset inflation. If anything, for most people, the gap between retirement income and retirement cost will continue to widen. So this means you need to be prepared in retirement to dip into your other assets over time to cover the income expense gap created by inflation. So as you're creating your long-term retirement plan, you've got to think about these issues. How will you use your assets to create an adequate, steady flow of income for as long as you live? You need to factor in other looming changes in your future. Will you be paying off a house in a few years? If so, will that shrink the gap? What does the overall economy look like? What are the economists saying about inflation trends? You need a plan that takes into account all these factors. It's a lot to think about, but that's the kind of work we do at Christy Capital Management. We walk clients through a process just like this, though much more detailed. We ask good, hard questions about your goals and your dreams. We look at your unique situation and your existing investments. Then we work with you to tailor a plan and a strategy that will get you to the future that you want. For now, I encourage you to begin thinking about the dirty word budget. Take your pen and paper and begin playing it out. What's your retirement budget? What income will you have? What expenses do you anticipate? I get my clients to create a retirement budget long before they ever walk away from their jobs. I encourage them to try living by that budget for at least 6 months before their last day in the office. It's a great exercise. It helps them see if their planning is realistic. The ones who engage this process are able to transition easily into retirement. Instead of entering a murky, unknown future, they enjoy a clear, well-lit path. Don't be like so many who wait too long. Go to our website, christycapital.com. Give us a call on the number on your screen. Let us help you move into the next chapter of life with peace and confidence. This is Mel Stubbs. Happy retiring. We need to do the proper disclaimers. The purpose of this video is not to give specific tax advice or investment advice. We're going over general principles and ideas that can be used, and if used correctly, can save and avoid taxes. You're going to want to work with someone personally who knows your situation personally. So seek out advice from an independent financial advisor. This is for educational purposes only. I hope you enjoyed the video.